December 15th, King County. My cousin Joe. We're probably gonna be on a doe killing mission tonight. We're sneaking up. We're gonna be hunting that fence line that we've hunted a couple times in the past couple weeks. Looking over this standing bean field. Pretty confident they're gonna be feeding in the beans this evening. The best food source you can possibly have this late in the year. And it butts right up to a big primary bedding area, so we're gonna see if they filter out of there. Probably not gonna shoot the first few does we see, just to see if anything with horns comes out. But you know, if it gets later in the evening, we have some does around us. Might put one down, put some meat in the freezer. So Joe definitely needs some meat. So we're creeping through the timber right now to this fence line. Should be there in about 10 minutes. So we'll see you out there. So they might be on the feed a little bit earlier than normally. We got in here nice and quiet, slipped into this fence line. And we got the standing beans in front of us. And we got a standing cornfield a couple hundred yards behind us that we've seen a lot of deer come out of too. So I'm just gonna sit tight, let it happen. Just I'll tell you why. Don't leave it close. I know. Hold on, just let him feed a little bit. Let him get comfortable. He's not going. Is he good enough for you? Yeah. Okay, just let him do his thing. Should I shoot now, though? Like if I get a shot on him? Should I take the shot now if I get one? If you have a shot, if you're steady, that's a poke, dude. So make sure you're always looking this way. I got a good shot. You got a good shot right now? Yep. All right, take it.
Dropped him. Dropped him, baby. Dropped him, baby. Woo! Yeah, baby. Yes. It's been a while. Yes. Fucking dropped him. Wait. He's kicking.
Yeah, hold on, Joe. Hold on, dude.
You gonna take a shot again?
Yeah, I'm gonna get up to him closer, alright?
You wanna film and I'll take the shot?
Huh? No, you don't have a shot here.
Well, I know, but you want me to go up there?
Time out.
You want me to go through you?
If you want to go finish him, I actually... Yeah.
I'm gonna come around this way. Just keep on him.
Alright, Joe.
Oh, you got it on?
Yeah.
Not a pretty finish, but buck down. It's been a long time. And at least about 13 years, I think, since I've gotten a buck.
Both bucks on camera.
Both bucks are on camera. This one is an upgrade.
Yeah, this is your best buck ever, man.
Best buck yet. That I've got my hands on.
Look at this. He's all muddied up,
Yeah, he was
kicking around. We'll clean him up for some pictures, but show us what you got, man. He's dead.
Let's see what we got here.
Looks like a 7-point.
Yeah, 1, 2,
I've got him on camera.
3, 4, 5. maybe 6, 4 on one side. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, a little 6-point.
Look at that, man.
I'll take it.
Heck yeah. That's freaking sweet.
Yeah, see.
That's late season, man.
Yeah.
What are we, December 15th?
December 15th, yep.
Yeah. First buck with your muzzleloader. First buck with a gun.
First buck with a gun. First buck with muzzleloader. First buck in.
We were sitting right on that fence line over there.
All right, good evening, everybody. We, as you can see from the footage, we we were running out of camera light and had to get that deer gutted and
Take
care of business, and it was getting late on, and we just didn't have a lot of camera light left. So we did want to recap the hunt. Joe, nice little 7-point here. First buck.
Quite some
And
time.
yeah, he says on camera 13 years.
Yeah.
And it's not, wasn't due to a lack of effort.
Yeah, we've had Steve and I are cousins, and we put in, well, we've been hunting every year together for the most part. Had plenty of encounters, split time in the stands. We've had a few successful hunts, a couple doe, a couple bucks, but on my end, no bucks until this year. So it's been a long drought, and it was good to kind of pull it off. It was fun to just strategize the hunt. We had sat where you see in the video where we had sat before, knew the patterns of the deer, had perfect wind, good temperature. For December 15th, everything worked out really well, and like Stephen had mentioned at the beginning of this here, light was coming to an end, and this guy came out, and it's probably about $150 maybe.
Yeah, it was about 150-yard shot.
150-yard shot. So maybe didn't go down in the end the way we don't see it all on the footage, but I dropped him on the initial shot, but we quickly realized that I think I hit him a little high, so I had to go out and take another shot to finish him off, basically. But so not the way that you want it to go in the end, but I think in the end we also had a pretty good hunt at the
Freezer's full.
Freezer's full, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of hunting shows, they kind of like to hide that stuff. I mean, it wasn't that he made a bad shot. It was a 150-yard poke with a muzzleloader. Just hit a little high, obviously dropped the deer, but Joe had to go up to it and put a couple more slugs into it. And just so you're aware, in where we hunt in Michigan in muzzleload season, because of it's a CWD restricted zone, you can use any weapon, any legal firearm during muzzleload season. So Joe had the muzzleloader with him for a longer poke. I had a 12 gauge with me for anything that's a little bit closer range and you want to get multiple shots off. So I gave Joe my shotgun to go finish that deer off. But the deer eventually perished, and it was a awesome hunt. It's funny how quickly things come together. I mean, we've been hunting together, like Joe said, 13 years. He's filmed me kill a couple bucks. We filmed me try to get a couple does, but it's always been like we just missed out on bucks for you.
Yeah.
We've just had a lot of bad luck. You know, there's been times where we've actually switched from cameraman to hunter while a buck is approaching, and it just doesn't work out. So it's funny how all those years, all those frustrations, and it all came together, like as you saw, in about a half a minute.
Yeah, if that. Yep. Walked out right where we expected to. Or honestly, I think our goal was doe that night.
Yeah.
We went out the intention, didn't see a single doe, and which is unusual, I guess. Typically, we're seeing a few of them pour out of there. But nice 2.5-year-old. By no means a deer that maybe you talk about later, but every story has its own memories, and I think the whole experience, just with the timeline of all the bunch of effort we put in, was always it was a great outcome.
Oh, it was amazing. It was such a fun night, and it's as you can see, the beans were still standing, which has never happened. So we have no control over the crop at that property. We have hunted the property for 15 years, but there's a farmer that leases it to another farmer. He does all the crops, and just because of how wet of a fall we had, he couldn't get to those beans until almost like Christmas this year. So we took full advantage of that, and with beans being like the #1 food attractant to a deer in late season, as the weather gets cold, I was seeing 10 to 15 deer a night pour out of the primary bedding areas around that property into those beans. So like Joe said, we were fully expecting to that was a fill the freezer kind of hunt. We were expecting does to pile out of that primary bedding area and put one of those down, but he was the first one to walk out, and it worked out perfect because ended Joe's little slump.
Yeah,
so
you got to get him eventually, so it felt good to pull that one off there too. And I think also just a rewarding experience from the strategy, how I had mentioned too, where we probably put about a 3/4 of a mile walk in just to get to a spot that we easily could have walked in from 100 yards or two off the road, but we went to the opposite side of the property due to the wind direction, came back in through the backwoods and walked our way all the way up to the beginning of the property essentially, and but
it just
was
goes to
probably
show.
our best option for us. So
Goes to show access is everything. If you can access, doesn't matter if it takes an extra 3-mile hike. If there's a way to access a certain spot with keeping the wind in your face and not any deer around the primary bedding areas of your property detecting you, you take, it's not always the easiest route that wins. We like Joe just said, we could have walked 50 yards and been in that fence line, but we walked about a mile and we're in that fence line, and it worked out perfect. So overall,
thanks again. It was a good hunt.
It's a rewarding experience.